approach these. Also, if I draw these, a warning, they're not to scale. I'm not that talented. Make sure that your calculator is always in degree mode, or it'll throw off your measurements. We aren't going to ever deal with radian mode in this class. Okay? All right. So if I'm approaching this and I look at this, when I was your age, I would write down my mnemonic to remember which to use. And as a reminder, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. Okay? So the first thing I want you to do is identify the ratio that you're working with. One thing that Mrs. Sylvester suggests, and I really do like that, is identifying the hypotenuse first. And the hypotenuse is always your longest side across from the right angle. And she suggests boxing that in. Now your other two legs can only be opposite and adjacent. So with respect to this angle, opposite is the side that we don't care about. And adjacent is what's left. Adjacent is right next to the angle. It's right beside. So let's see, I'm using adjacent and hypotenuse. So logically speaking, I should look for adjacent and hypotenuse. So that's going to be cosine. So I have cosine of my angle. And as a reminder, we found out that you can measure and find out what those ratios are because they're consistent across math. That's what we did before spring break. But cosine of this angle is equal to the ratio of these two sides. Now this is a one-step equation. I have my variable divided by a number equals another number. How do I get rid of division? Multiplication. So, multiply by 27. And if you put that straight in your calculator, you'll have the most accurate answer. Some of you like finding what this decimal is. Doing that will eventually throw some of your answers off. I allowed you to do that the first day just because I wanted to make sure that it really was ingrained that cosine of 27 is just a number. Okay, so I'm going to check, see if I'm in degree mode. I am. So I have 27 times, oops, not 27. How about that? That side's 15. Be sure to speak up. I make mistakes all the time. Those are all 15s. How about that? So I have 15 times cosine of 27. Not 2.7, 27. And there's my side measure, 13.36. Sorry about that. I speak up. Okay, so identify my ratio with respect to this angle. What am I dealing with? What is x? The opposite side. And what's 10? Okay, our adjacent side, I agree. So opposite and adjacent looks like we're going to use tangent. So I have tangent of my angle is equal to the ratio, opposite over adjacent. So x divided by 10. So what do I have to do? Multiply by 10. So 10 times tangent of 15 is going to be 2.679. So right here I notice I have two significant digits, so I'm going to continue that, and it looks like I can round up, so I'll have 2.7. So if I would have applied that rule down here, I only have 2 significant digits. 13's okay, but I would like a 10th still. So 13.4 would be as accurate as I would hope. Okay, finally, C. Help me out.
Cosine of 33.
Okay, so I would agree this is the hypotenuse. And this is our adjacent side. So we are dealing with cosine, adjacent, and hypotenuse. So cosine of 33 is equal to my ratio of adjacent divided by hypotenuse. So 8 divided by x. All right, I'll tell you, this is where mistakes will happen a lot. You will mess this up if you are not careful. Because when students see the variable in the denominator, they make mistakes for some reason. Okay? What do I have to do?
Multiply by x.
Okay, I have to get x by itself, so I do have to multiply by x first. So I have x times cosine of 33.
And you divide by cosine of 33.
Correct, because this is just like saying x times a number. So you'd normally just divide by that number. Divide by cosine of 33. Okay, so I have 8 divided by cosine of 33, and I have 9.53, so 9.5. Okay, that's
Where do we do these? How many decimals do you want?
generally if it's the number of significant digits you have. So if you're dealing with, if this was like 1,000, you'd have 4 significant digits, and so I'd need 4 significant digits. Yes, you should have. That was covered in 7th grade. I know this because my fiance teaches 7th grade, and it's the same standards across the state.